Together, we have pledged to take action.
Together, we are committed to the cause of improving lives.
Together, we empower people through our initiatives to help them realize their fullest potential.
Together, we spread smiles. Good morning, everyone.
We are Team Enactus Somaiya Social Cell.
Somaiya Social Cell was established in the year 2004 within KJ Somaiya Institute of Management Studies and Research with the motto of touching hearts, challenging destinies. Today, we stand in good stead in front of you to share about various projects we have under our umbrella.
रहीमन देखी बड़े को लघु न दीजिए दारी जहाँ काम आवे सुई कहाँ करे तरवारी meaning we shouldn't throw away small things in persuasion of the big, for what can be done by a needle can't be done by a sword. This couplet written by Rahim almost 3 centuries ago is what defines our next project, Utsav.
Project UTSA impacts below poverty line rural women and urban HIV affected women by generating employment to them after honing their skills in garment making and manufacturing aprons and surgical masks for sale in the Mumbai markets. As per the Labour Bureau report of 2014, the present skilled workforce of India is only 2%, which is much lower when compared to the other developing nations.
The situation becomes worse in case of women, specifically in rural areas. Living in a patriarchal society, it's a challenge to develop and effectively utilize their skills to generate employment opportunities for them.
Chaya is one such woman who was an outlier in these statistics. 134 kilometers away from Mumbai in Ambesari village of Dahanu district, Chaya struggles to support her family. Her husband Raman, who toils at construction sites in Mumbai, sends home a meager wage which is not sufficient to make ends meet.
The plight of other families who inhabit villages near the Hanu is no different. They all, like Chaya, grope in their coffers to feel the rustle of rupee notes, but instead are haunted by the jingle of coins. Coins that wouldn't even buy their children toys to play with.
But a palliative in the form of Nareshwari Learning Center allayed their pains by training these women in the art of stitching garments in a course run over 6 months. After training, Chaya went back to start her own tailoring business with the hope of providing her family a better life.
But lack of entrepreneurial skills and capital, coupled with very few orders, dwindled the family income and rendered her skills underutilized.
We, Enactus Somaiya Social Cell, set out to change this. When we visited Nareshwari Learning Center, we saw that resources in the form of sewing machines, infrastructure, and other facilities were already available. What was required was a direction. And in this quest, we did a market survey and found a very potent yet untapped market for lab coats and surgical masks. There is a huge and continuous demand for lab coats in hospitals, laboratories, and educational institutes.
According to the Ministry of Health, Development and Research, the requirement for lab coats in education institutions stands at an enormous 30 lakhs. Mumbai alone has a requirement of 81,000 aprons. These findings gave us a hope to change Chaya's life and make a difference in the life of many such women we had identified.
The marriage between research findings and available resources led to the conception of the idea to create a brand name of UTSA in the category of lab coats and surgical masks.
As we set out with the mission of creating entrepreneurs out of these women, we faced many challenges. The major hurdle was in the form of aprons that were damaged in transit and due to poor storage condition at Nareshwari Learning Center.
The team set up a clean and designated storage facility and proper packaging which ensured preservation of the quality. Further, owing to the lack of practice in apron stitching, the end products lacked standardization. This was rectified by providing pre-approved samples of each size that were to be followed to achieve standardization.
The beauty of Project Utsav lies in the simplicity of the business model we follow. We train women in apron and surgical mask stitching under the tutelage of a fashion designing diploma holder. After a thorough vendor analysis, we source the raw materials in consultation with the clients as per their requirement and usage. For example, education institutions require more of plastic for protection from chemicals, and medical institutions require lightweight cloth with more percentage of polyester. We also use customized apron strategy.
We use the same mode of logistics as that of Project Barley to transport raw materials and finished products. The lab coats, after undergoing quality check, are sold to customers at kiosks or are directly delivered to institutes with tie-ups.
We received our very first order in July 2015 from KJ Somaiya Science College. In a span of 8 days, we were able to sell 400 lab coats, generating a revenue of 70,000 rupees. Currently, we have tie-ups with 3 education institutions and hospitals. Having received repeat orders from these institutions, this year too, we are already on the path of achieving sustainability for the project.
We have been able to provide these women an additional source of income of rupees 90 for every apron they stitch, which is 61% higher than the current wage rate of rupees 55 in the market. With more orders and tie-ups in the pipeline, we saw an opportunity to impact more women. We collaborated with an NGO, Sahas, that began as an aid to provide to people seeking HIV treatment.
HIV. These 3 letters are enough to make peals of Nell echo in our minds. Imagine the emotional turmoil of a woman whose husband has been affected with this malice. They don't get employment opportunities to provide their ailing husbands with medicines or to put a square meal in front of their family.
In an attempt to empower these families, the women were trained in stitching and sewing under Sahas, but they lacked employment opportunities. We joined hands with Sahas and trained these women in apron stitching under Project Utsa.
We have helped them revive their courage and mettle. After all, didn't John Wayne define courage as being scared to death and saddling up anyway?
With 16 volunteers working dedicatedly for 2,619 hours, we have managed to support 18 families and 120 individuals by generating a revenue of rupees 1,48,906 in a span of 1 year. Chaya's eyes gleam with happiness when she now speaks about how her life has changed. Chaya runs the white canvas of cloth under the machine needles and stitches together a life of dreams, aspirations, and excitement, a life of utsav.